They take me maybe 40 minutes to do this, so I'll do a video explanation. Maybe this can help someone. So I know we don't have the physical demo, so this would be for more intermediate, advanced, maybe some beginner people can follow along. Here's a bunch of Maryland modeling clay. Put it up in a ball, stuck it to the skin. I used a little liquid latex to just stick it on, flatten it out. You know the whole process if you've been doing makeup for a while. And then you just smooth out the edges, and then with a knife I just lifted up different pieces, and different pieces were cracking anyway, so I just pried them open. And yeah, I just made sure they stuck in. If any edges were lifting up, I used Vaseline on the edges. So see, here is like smoothed into the skin, so that's where I blended the clay into the skin. But most of the clay, as you can see, is not blended. It's kind of just sitting on top. But since it's supposed to be a gash shoulder, I guess that could work. That's one way to do it. One way to do it if you want to be a perfectionist, which I would do on shoot day, add a little bit of cotton balls, just pull some pieces of the cotton balls. Guess what else do? I don't like doing that. Stick the cotton ball pieces in the deep wounds, right? And then you add a little bit of blood. You can even add a little bit of yellow coloring to add that. And then you'll see some actual guts in there. If you're doing close-ups, you're going to want to add some guts. I've actually used Jello. That has to be shot within like 20-60 seconds because it melts on the body. So you could do Jello on top of clothing in a cool environment, but on top of the skin it's going to melt. But Jello can look like cool guts, but cotton balls are better. And then this one, these are very quickly done on a very professional shoot with no time limits. I'd make sure all the clay was just very smoothed out all the way and there were no chunks, but this kind of works since the effect is supposed to be chunky. And then this is very sloppily placed on latex. Again, if this is a gash that could be sloppy, this works. If you're supposed to make clean lines, you got to make sure that you don't like slop on liquid latex. So slopped on liquid latex, and I put some tissue paper, toilet paper, latex, toilet paper. Probably did that about 3 times, probably just 3 layers of toilet paper. And then you can see there's some depth. And then I just actually cut a little hole, but latex is very difficult to cut. So I actually just kind of rip pieces out. So there's pieces ripped out, and then here's the toilet paper and the latex. And then I just added water. It's Maron water-based paint, which is really pigmented. I like that. And then I put brown and red, painted that in, and then I added thick blood. And here's a little trick too. I'm learning some tricks. I'm moving along. I don't see a lot of people doing this. Spray blood. I have like a thinner blood in a spray. So see how this is like kind of reddish, almost like someone sneezed blood? It blends it all together because everything's a different color. So if you were to take it's almost like taking a filter on an Instagram photo or whatever. You take that blood spray, boom, now everything has that same coating, very thin of red. And then I add the thick blood. It has to be somewhat thick, somewhat coagulated, or it's not going to look good. You don't want to use just like thin blood on this. You can use that too though. I like to use like 3 to 4 different bloods, even 5 sometimes. All right, so there you have the spray blood, the coagulated blood, and then maybe thin blood, but I only use 2 types of blood. And here we have a neck slash. This is one way to do it. It is toilet paper and latex. I think I did about 5 layers of the latex. You can also do this with wax, which I might do if you want it to be more cleaner, more exact, and you don't want it to look bumpy. See, it's like rough looking right here. There's rough where the toilet paper is here, rough here. Now you can cover that with different bloods, and see I'm just kind of opening this up. So this kind of looks pretty cool with the tissue paper. That's one beauty about the tissue paper. It's like, it can give you that like hanging effect. You can open it up and cut it open. Especially if it's okay to be jagged, that's nice. But if you need it to be clean and you don't care about having these pieces hang, which are pretty cool, I recommend it. You could do wax, and then it's going to be more of a clean cut. However, you could build out some wax to stick out. You could do it, but I don't know. I like cutting into toilet paper for different holes and gashes. The problem with it is the edges. So you got to make sure that you have very smooth edges. What I would do, this is a very fast test job. I was moving real fast, sloppy. You would do thin toilet paper, maybe just 1 layer here, but make it thicker as you go in. So it's like a layer towards the edges, maybe one, maybe two max. And then as you layer the toilet paper on, just layer it more in. Don't go all the way to the edge. Leave that 1 or 2 layers, and then go layer 2, layer 3, layer 4 towards the center. And then those edges are gonna blend more. I just did literally rectangle pieces, the same layer. Should have had a little island. So there we go. And then here we have the spray blood, and we have not even coagulated blood. We have like a mid-level thickness blood on this. So there you go. Here's your neck slash. There's your shoulder gash using the latex method and using a modeling wax method, which is why it is so bumpy. If you use Maron Sin Wax, it blends better, but it's kind of cool that this is chunky. It really looks like someone, digged into my shoulder here. Ooh.